everyone, it's Cari's Little Piggies here on the Furry Friendzy collab channel, and this is week 3 for us, and it's going to be an interesting week. How we got the idea for the theme of this week is that we are all subscribed to Erin's Hamster's channel, and a little bit ago she did a video showing what her biggest mistakes regarding hamster care were. And I thought that was quite honorable, especially because she is a really big YouTube channel and a lot of people look up to her, and yet she still showed that she can still make mistakes, but she can learn from it. And honestly, that is what makes the best pet owners, because we all make mistakes, and the key is to learn from your mistakes and to change it so that you can do better and do right by your furry loved ones. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to tell you a couple of the biggest mistakes that I made with my girls. And I wanted to say that even though I did tons of research before I got the girls, and still I made a couple of big blunders that I wanted to talk about. The first mistake that I made was regarding the introduction of guinea pigs. There are tons of videos out there that actually show what the proper way to introduce guinea pigs are. You know, they talk about the primary things being neutral territory, away from the cages, and making sure to supervise the time, and all kinds of tips. And so I tried to do that properly when I tried to introduce Isabella to these two. And I did everything that I thought was right, and the problem was that these two divas would not accept her into their world. And I read on forums that sometimes it takes a lot of different introductions before they actually get used to them. The problem is that I kept trying, and I did everything that I could possibly read upon, and every single time it traumatized Isabella. They basically bit her. They didn't make her bleed, but they bit her, they pulled off fur, lots of stuff. Look at Bonnie trying to act cute like it wasn't her. But lots of different things that they did to her, and I should have known to stop at that point, because there was no point in doing that. So although a lot of people say that it is a good idea to do introductions more than once, if you already have, after the first 1 or 2 introductions, seen some really bad signs of it, I would never subject my own daughter to that kind of trauma of trying to get along with somebody that she just won't get along with. So along the lines of introductions, I've got me a doozy of a confession to make. And that is with these two. So if you watched my introduction video, then you know the story of how I got Tossie for Isabella. What you don't know is how I introduced the two of them. So despite that I did everything right to try to introduce Isabella to Bonnie and Reina, and it didn't work, when I got Tossie, it was about a month after Isabella had been with us and had been very lonely. She was showing signs of depression. She wasn't really eating. She wasn't popcorning anymore. She was pretty sad because, first of all, I traumatized her by introducing her so many times and getting hurt by Bonnie and Reina. But second of all, because she didn't have a friend. So when you first bring home a guinea pig, what you're supposed to do before you introduce is put them through a quarantine period. It's a period of about 2 weeks, and what you do is you put them away from where your guinea pigs are, and that's to kind of make sure that they don't have any kind of diseases or something, maybe mites or something like that, that your other guinea pigs might catch. So as you know, I got Tossie from our local pet store, and I had never gotten a guinea pig from a pet store before, and I knew not to get a guinea pig from one of the big chain stores. And this local store basically, you know, gave me assurances that they don't get it from any kind of backyard breeder or anything like that. But I still didn't really know where she had come from and what her circumstances were. But because Isabella had been so lonely and depressed, and because I really, really wanted her to have a friend right away, I didn't do the quarantine period. I know, that was a huge mistake, because if Tossie had had something bad, then both of them would have been sick. Then I would have had to pay vet bills, and who knows what might have happened. So that's a huge, huge no-no, and I will never do that again. But the worst thing that I did do, which is sad that I have to confess this, is that reason did not take over. And I was just thinking primarily of, or thought I was thinking of Isa's happiness and not her health. But what I did is, for the introduction of Isa and Tossie, I essentially just put Tossie in Isa's cage. I know, that was such a stupid thing to do, and I would never do that again. And I did not do that with Nanny at all. I did the quarantine period, and I did the neutral introductions. But it's one mistake that I just think could have gone so terribly wrong, because it's everything you shouldn't do. So I put Tossie straight from this pet store into Isabella's cage. Didn't clean out Isabella's cage other than spot cleaning. It was a small cage because it was actually that travel size cage that I have that I put Isa in, because I was thinking that eventually the introductions would work and I would have her in the big CNC cage with the divas. I did not have the materials to build a separate CNC cage. I mean, there's tons of wrong things just in that alone, and things that I knew better about. And yet, by some stroke of pure, absolute, wonderful luck, when I put Tossie in Isabella's cage, it was almost like they literally were long-lost lovers. And they got along instantly. There was no grumbling, there was nothing at all. They literally just loved each other from the moment they got together. And that, I believe, is a very rare thing, and I would never chance the health of either guinea pig ever again if I had to redo it over. So there you have it. Those are my big doozies of mistakes. Cari's Little Piggies is far, far, far from perfect, and I don't ever claim to be. But if you have any questions on anything that I talked about, I am very happy to answer all of them. And believe me, I am harder on myself than you guys could ever be. But I hope you enjoyed hearing our stories, and I hope that I at least reached somebody out there so that they never do what I did. And I hope you look forward to everybody else's stories. And on Saturday, we do have a special guest that's going to admit her biggest mistake or mistakes. So thanks everyone for watching. See you in the next week. Bye.